The anime begins with a group of boys who meet each other in Hachimitsu Academy. That year's school was an unbelievable imbalance in students. The Underground Students' Council, or USC, stops contact between boys and girls. Kiyoshi gets friends with a girl in his class named Chiyo, who is a sumo wrestling fan. Chiyo invites Kiyoshi to a sumo date. As the boys have lacked the confidence to talk with girls, so they decide to watch them secretly in the female bath area. While watching, they get caught by USC. Now, due to this, they get punished for 1 month in the school prison block. USC Secretary Hana takes over guard duty from USC Vice President Meiko, and the boys realize she's too violent. When Kiyoshi climbs a tree to help her crawling, she sees Chiyo. Kiyoshi couldn't confess his involvement to Chiyo. He promises to go on the date. Hana gets a pee because she drank too much tea. While peeing, Kiyoshi sees her from the top and falls off the tree and saw her, creating a scene. School chairman, after talking to the USC president, gets some time off for the boys on weekends. However, Marie's USC president ends their free time when she sees adult material on the chairman's computer and becomes more strict when the chairman drops nude photos of girls. This worries Kiyoshi as he wanted to go on a date this weekend, so he plans to break out through the jail. Now he secretly starts digging a hole in the waste disposal cabin's wall. Gakuto notices his plans after seeing Chiyo's note, which he wrote to Kiyoshi. Then Gakuto finds Kiyoshi's breakout plan interesting and joins him. Meanwhile, Hana wanted a repayment for Kiyoshi and wanted to see him peeing. When Kiyoshi and Gakuto tried to get rid of Hana, Gakuto forces Kiyoshi to go to the toilet, where Hana follows Kiyoshi. Hana forces Kiyoshi and gets inside the washroom with him, where she accidentally gets peed all over her. Kiyoshi and Gakuto complete their escape plan. They plan to do a check on the escape hole, so Kiyoshi gets out of that hole, but on his way back he gets distracted by the chairman. Miko gets there and starts asking for Kiyoshi. The moment when she was about to catch him, Kiyoshi luckily gets back. The boys get gift request forms and they are given the task of helping at the district sports event. On another day, when Kiyoshi and Gakuto were taking a bath, Shingo sees them and assumes they are homosexual and changes his group. The next day, Kiyoshi discovers a drain line that joins the sports ground to the waste disposal area. Kiyoshi and Gakuto wanted a recording for the diversion, so to obtain that, Gakuto poops inside their computer classroom, which was full of girls. The chairman blocks the escape hole. After the Kiyoshi makes up his mind to cross-dress out of the school. For Kiyoshi's sake, Gakuto runs and removes Mari's skirt from below. Meiko becomes angry and punishes him by shaving his long hair short, which Gakuto steals to use as a wig for Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi steals a girl's uniform from the laundry room, risking himself inside the cleaner's van. That uniform was of Chino. On Saturday, when the sports event arrives, Kiyoshi escapes with the help of Gakuto. Now Chiyo and Kiyoshi enjoy their date and food at the sumo tournament until Kiyoshi goes to the toilet and Chiyo accidentally spills the tea on his bag. When Chiyo opens the bag, she found her uniform inside, which offends her. Chiyo leaves the stadium, making that date a disappointment. Meiko gets alert and calls Kiyoshi to get out of the washroom, but Kiyoshi doesn't reply, which makes Meiko angry. She breaks the washroom door and finds Kiyoshi sitting on the seat. After seeing that, Meiko leaves and Gakuto collects his limited edition figures. Kiyoshi then tells Gakuto about the failed date. Suddenly, Mari comes and reveals Kiyoshi's photo and says that Kiyoshi was at the sumo tournament. Further, Mari tells that Chiyo is her younger sister, which shocks Kiyoshi. The other boys get angry at Kiyoshi's disloyalty, and Meiko puts Kiyoshi in prison where he is investigated. Now only Gakuto was on Kiyoshi's side, while the other boys started hating him. Mari strives to terminate Kiyoshi and almost succeeds in persuading Kiyoshi to leave the school at his own free will. The moment at which Kiyoshi was about to sign, Chiyo comes and protects him successfully. Then Mari decides to terminate all the boys under her plan DTO. While cleaning the toilet, Kiyoshi runs into Hana, who corners him and guarantees to take her vengeance. At the USC meeting, they start planning DTO. Mari and Meiko notify Hana about their plan of expelling the boys. When boys complete their daily assessment, Meiko recruits Shingo as an informer, and in return, she offered him good food. Shingo discloses that Joe is very conscious about his ants. Meiko tells that to Marie, and then they plan an incident involving the ants. The next day, when the boys were having fun, some crows attack Joe's ants in the yard. The USC members stop Joe from defending the ants. This makes Joe angry, and he strives to injure Marie with a wooden knife, which Kiyoshi intercepts. This makes Kiyoshi innocent in front of Joe. Now Joe is placed in solitary detention where he understands the crows were not killing the ants. As Kiyoshi gets injured, Hana takes him to the nurse's room and fails to impose her payback. Later that day, Shinjo gets approval from Meiko to leave campus and she issued his school uniform. Shinjo goes to the games arcade during his undertakings for USC. At the gaming arcade, he finds a second-year Anzu while he was playing the fighting game. The other day, when Meiko asks Shinjo for more information, he reveals a toy blade that he discovered in the toilets. Meiko uses the blade in a plan to prove Gakuto's collaboration in Kiyoshi's escape. Meiko avoids Gakuto and attempts to crush the figure to force his confession. Gakuto takes the toy from her and smashes the toy. He apologizes to Kiyoshi for ignoring their bullying. Gakuto admits to the boys that he was working with Kiyoshi and was guiding him in the breakout, the boys' excuse. Shingo was still against them. The boys notice Shingo's absence with Meiko throughout the following days. Andre was under punishment by a fully covered Meiko. Andre starts playing tricks but failed. This makes him mentally depressed. Chiyo discovers Meiko unconscious in the school corridor. Chiyo then takes Meiko to the USC office where she finds the DTO plan and gets shocked. Kiyoshi shows suspicion towards Shingo. Meiko sends Shingo on his prison leave, so Shingo decides to go to watch a movie named The Grapes of Wrath with Anzu. Unfortunately, they leave the cinema because they don't like the movie. Chiyo notifies Kiyoshi by sending a hidden message in the form of pieces of their board game, which Kiyoshi fails to interpret. Kiyoshi tells Gakuto about the message and Gakuto quickly cracks it. The message was a warning. Meanwhile, Andre was tricked into the courtyard by USC. When Andre discovers Meiko beyond the courtyard's wire wall, he couldn't get control of himself and destroys the gate. All these outcomes in a second escape. Meanwhile, when Shingo was with Anzu, she confesses that she's a USC spy sent to stop him to get back to school on time. Shingo ran to get back in time but fails, thus resulting in the third escape. USC celebrates as DTO was a complete success. The boys agree to regain the email information of DTO from the security office computer to avoid their termination. They all agree with Gakuto's plan to privately enter the guard office and fetch the information. Now they plan that they will have an arm wrestling contest to distract Meiko and take keys from her, and they successfully did that. As Gakuto needs at least 10 minutes for fetching the data, the boys have to distract Meiko for at least 10 minutes, so they all start doing arm wrestling with her. Gakuto goes first for any losses within a second. Then Kiyoshi goes and puts in some effort but fails to defeat Meiko. Meanwhile, when Kiyoshi was matching, Gakuto quietly stole the key from Meiko's jacket and went to the security office. After Kiyoshi, Shingo, and Joe undergo an instant failure, Andre finally challenges her and keeps Meiko busy with his long nipple hair. But this doesn't stop Meiko for long, as she forced a win by shutting her eyes and destroying Andre. At that exact time, Gakuto retrieves having only regained the data by failing to fetch it. This makes boys safe, and they realize that their coming termination was unavoidable. This all broke the boys' hearts, and they became helpless. Meiko gives the boys departure forms that they have to sign for their termination. Kiyoshi says to Meiko that the boys wanted to make an appeal to the chairman for an expansion before their termination, but Meiko rips up their letter, but somehow Kiyoshi gets successful in sending that appeal letter to chairman. Chairman asks the boys to solve his puzzle, which was to choose between butt or breasts. Chairman further asks Kiyoshi to answer his puzzle. Kiyoshi chooses butts from his understanding of the chairman's choice. After struggling a lot, Kiyoshi uses human beings, evolutionary theory, to prove the distinction of the ass. The chairman approves this appeal and gives them a one-day expansion to collect proof of their innocence. This all saddens Marie. At the USC office, Hana soldiers to watch out for the boys, but the boys formulate a new plan that is to immerse Meiko in an ass wrestling tournament. But Hana has already convinced Marie to allow her to guard the boys. So when Hana comes instead of Meiko, this shocks the boys, but they continue adapting their plan to Hana. Hana threatens Kiyoshi as she will be going to have revenge on him. When Meiko was doing push-ups, Marie comes and comforts her with her loyalty. The boys arrange a night sneaky plan with Chiyo at the back door of the prison, while Kiyoshi will go and distract Hana. Anzu stops Chiyo in the school kitchens and offers Chiyo her help. Gakuto makes Hana angry and allows Kiyoshi to go to the nurse's office. Hana then starts taking revenge on Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi finds a point and successfully unlocks the back door during their heated encounter. Meiko catches Anzu on Marie's arrangements. Anzu was playing a decoy for Chiyo. Then Chiyo proceeds. When Anzu gets caught, she shoots. Her voice is recognized by the boys who determine her helping role in Chiyo's progress. However, Anzu proves to be helpful. Meanwhile, in the nurse's office, Hana starts kissing Kiyoshi as a punishment for his doings. Kiyoshi gets the advantage of that kiss and expands the kiss until Hana crumbles on the floor. Hana then ends his shift and goes to bed. Marie does a secret investigation with Miko and thinks that all things are going smoothly and safely. The next day, the boys are called to Chairman's office. They protest their termination and reveal the plan that they have done successfully with Chiyo. Gakuto then appears with email evidence of DTO. Thus, the boys were then proven innocent, and the USC's pannings against boys are proven to the chairman, who then announces the punishment for USC's members. Boys are now free from prison, and they are shown enjoying their independence. Then a new president, Kate, ensures the charge of the USC members. There the anime ends.